The definition of Sir Muhammad Yunus, he says any business with a social purpose that reinvests 100% profit back into the business. And I know that this definition differs from country to country. So if you reinvest 50% back into your business, you could be considered a social enterprise in some countries. So at this point in the MENA region, we don't have those kind of understanding or legal definition. Secondly, there is a lot of legal illiteracy about legal issues. So for example, if you're a social entrepreneur, you probably would not know how you would start up legally.
I have to stop you and go to the next one.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So actually, first of all, I think every NGO has to attach some kind of a business model to it in order to sustain itself, even further in the future. Because if you cut off any funds, you can go on and continue your positive impact. And for Techno-Eco, we've done that through 3 levels or 3 ways we've done that. The first one is through advertising. We've contacted global advertisers and local advertisers who are concerned about technology products, and we've told them you can advertise on our platforms for money, exchange that for money. And the other thing is the affiliation programs with the local companies. And the third one, which is the most important one, is that we've created an incubator where we gather students from universities and schools and teach them how to do some kind of a programming and electronics design and those kind of things, and help them create products sellable products, and let them and connect them with companies to sell them to it. And we've succeeded to make 10 products, sellable products, and we've sold them for $20,000. And this was a way to sustain ourselves, because we take a percentage out of it, out of the incomes to us to sustain our Techno-Eco project, and the rest of money goes to the programmers and the people who created the products. So it's a two-way thing. They can, students, they can do that in order to develop their skills and to gain extra money, and a way to overcome the unemployment issue, and to become their own entrepreneurial, let's say, companies, to create their own, let's say, companies to sell their own products. So those are the 3 main things to sustain ourselves.
Thank you, Ahmad. Now I'd like to open it to the audience to ask questions if you have any questions. Okay.
Because as I understand, your initiative is somehow hardware.
Exactly.
Hardware part. And as far as I understand from the overall global entrepreneurship community, that most entrepreneurs starting with something of hardware are stuck of the challenge of scalability or economy of scale, so they end up doing many prototypes and never receive an investment that's good enough to push this hardware into a viable product with a good price. So I need to understand, especially I know this is an energy, has also a very capital intensive industry, so I need to understand how is this working in your initiative.
Yeah. So I think first of all, people who are working on hardware projects, it's really hard for them to get the investment, because especially as an investor, people really, don't feel confident in investing in hardware projects, because it's a big process. You have to have the facility of manufacturing, and since it was a new idea, so it was hard for us to, to getting endorsement for our project. But I was selected in one of the program of Atlantic Council, where we had a cross-border initiative, and I was selected one of the finalists from Pakistan, and where I pitched my idea, and I got $60,000 funding offer, but I didn't take it because the equity was 40%. so I didn't take it. So the thing that I'm talking about is like we actually got the endorsement, you know, by different investments, and now we are working with UKTI, UK Trade Investment Department, and Shell. So it's like I mean, if you keep applying for different competitions and if you're using your resources, network resources, so you end up actually having a lot of endorsements. And with these endorsements, now you can work with the governments and, you know, ask them that we have these kind of endorsement, we have the certification, and we have the, you know, quality that we can implement this project. Because initially when we proposed this to Pakistan government, so they were actually were very confident about the project. But since now we are working with the UKTI and Shell as well, so we have a lot of support to implement it.
Can I just add on that? I just want to tell you, like, for someone who already been involved in this kind of thing, the image is dramatically changing in the Middle East, especially in the hardware projects. People are like mostly incubators because you know, like the IT section is like, it's so filled with every kind of possible idea you would think of. So people are like, especially entrepreneurs and incubators are thinking of a new ways to invest and to create like a project, sellable projects, and which they can like benefit from. For example, like in Jordan, there's two main incubators which started like this year to invest in hardware projects. That was like, let's say, a dream idea to them. And they like started from this year to invest in a project. And there's something with cooperation with Gulf countries to start something called a Silicon Badia. In terms of like Silicon Valley, yeah, they want to start something called Silicon Badia to start invest in a hardware project and those kind of electronic design. I know it's hard, it's gonna be like, I think it's gonna take a while, like 3 or 4 years, but the image is dramatically changing, especially in the Middle East, in terms of hardware projects, because there's a lot of new ideas, sellable ideas, successful that can like success in a Middle East. Like for an example, one of my students who I trained them in one of the workshops came up with an idea for a gaming system. And I've helped them it was a gaming system, but a hardware one. I helped them in that, and now we're like looking for investment. Like we took an $20,000 investment to start our own startup in this hardware project. So like I think it's changing, and like 2 years from now, you're gonna see like a whole new picture for that. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, he has a question.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is for the Saudi sisters, and Samira especially. I'm happy for you for surviving TB. You're a survivor. I also appreciate the initiative you're going through. However, my questions are a bit more specific on what you're doing, because I just missed a couple of points. We realize these days that TB is a neglected disease, but it's also prevalent in the poorest communities. So it's very multifactorial. It includes the living conditions of the family, their income, and also the role of big pharmaceutical companies like Novartis and Pfizer. It's a very treatable disease. And the only thing is that treatment takes a long course, so more than 6 months. So my first question is, how do you work with the government, or how does the government help you in helping the living conditions of the families in order for the TB not to recur again? And the second part is, as much as there's a problem with treatment, with lack of access to treatment, there's a problem with lack of continuation. So you have to continue following the patient to make sure that over the 6 months he takes his medication and actually the disease doesn't come back. So what do you do in that sense? Because you're taking a role of a healer or a doctor in the sense that you're providing them with the medicine. So do you follow up and make sure that they follow it through until then? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We mainly work with NGOs on the ground because we know they're directly involved with the community. We have a program in development right now. We are trying to train community health workers in one of the OIC countries. So we try to give them funds so that they know their communities better than we do. In Saudi Arabia, we work with the Ministry of Health directly, so we try to collaborate our programs with their program. So that's one answer I would give you for that.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is the end of our panel. Hope everything went well and hope you like it. Thank you very much.